Chapter 1. Earth's Crisis. In a small town far away, there lived a farmer named Cooper. Cooper was a simple man who loved his children, Tom and Murphy, very much. One day, while they were eating dinner, something strange happened. "Dad, look!" Murphy pointed at the window. There was a strange light in the sky. Cooper looked at it and felt worried. "What is that?" he asked. "I don't know," said Tom. "It looks like a star, but it's too big, and it's getting closer." Cooper knew something was wrong. The star was not a star at all. It was a spaceship, and it was coming to Earth. The next day, Cooper went to the town meeting. He told the people about the spaceship, but no one believed him. "That's impossible," said the mayor. "Spaceships don't come to Earth." But Cooper was sure. He knew he had to do something. He decided to go to the spaceship and find out what was happening. The next morning, Cooper packed his bag and said goodbye to his children. He promised them he would come back soon. "I will find out what is happening," he said, "and I will protect our Earth." Then Cooper left. He walked towards the spaceship, ready to face whatever was coming. As he got closer, he saw the spaceship was bigger than he thought. It was huge and shiny, like nothing he had ever seen before. Suddenly a door opened in the spaceship. A strange creature came out. It looked at Cooper and said, "We come in peace. We need your help." Cooper was scared, but he knew he had to be brave. "What do you need?" he asked. "Our planet is dying," said the creature. "We need a new home. Can we live on Earth?" Cooper thought for a moment. Then he said, "Yes, but you must promise to live in peace with us." The creature nodded. "We promise," it said. And so the crisis was averted. The creatures from the spaceship found a new home on Earth, and Cooper became a hero. But his journey was just beginning. Chapter 2. The Ghost and the Coordinates. After the spaceship had landed, life in the small town changed. The creatures from the spaceship, or the newcomers as they were now called, began to live among the townsfolk. The people were afraid at first, but Cooper helped them understand that the newcomers meant no harm. One day, while Cooper was at home, something unusual happened. "Dad, the books are falling!" cried Murphy, pointing at a shelf in her room. It was strange because there was no wind or anyone touching them. Cooper rushed to the room and saw it for himself. The books were indeed falling, one by one. "This is weird," he said, picking up one of the fallen books. "Maybe it's a ghost." Murphy looked scared, but Cooper reassured her. "Don't worry, sweetheart. If it is a ghost, we'll ask it to be nice." The next day, the same thing happened again. This time, Cooper noticed something. The books were not just falling randomly. They seemed to be forming a pattern. After examining it closely, Cooper realized it was not a ghost, but a message. The books were falling to form coordinates, a set of numbers used to locate a place on Earth. "These are coordinates," he said to Murphy, who looked puzzled. "It's like a map, and I think it's telling us to go somewhere." Filled with curiosity, Cooper decided to follow the coordinates. He packed his bag, said goodbye to his children, and set off on his journey. The coordinates led him to a distant, uncharted part of the Earth. There he found a huge structure, unlike anything he had ever seen before. It was a gigantic machine humming with energy. Cooper realized it was not from Earth. It was built by the newcomers. As he approached the machine, a soft voice echoed around him. "Cooper, we have been expecting you," it said. Cooper turned around to see one of the newcomers. "Why have you brought me here?" he asked. "We need your help, Cooper," the newcomer replied. "This machine can save our planets, but we do not know how to operate it. We believe you can." Cooper was shocked, but agreed to help. He spent days learning about the machine and how it worked. It was hard, but he was determined. Finally, after many trials and errors, Cooper managed to operate the machine. It hummed to life and a bright light filled the space. The machine worked. It created a shield around Earth and the newcomers' planet, protecting them from any harm. Cooper had done it. He had saved not one but 2 planets. Tired but happy, Cooper returned home. His children rushed to hug him, and the townsfolk cheered. He had become a hero once again. But as he looked at the stars, Cooper knew his journey was far from over. There were still many mysteries to unravel, many adventures to embark on, and he was ready for them. Chapter 3. The Plan. After the successful operation of the machine, Cooper's life became busier. He was no longer just a farmer, but also a hero and a friend to the newcomers. But he knew that his journey was far from over. There were still many mysteries to solve and adventures to start. One day, the newcomer who had first spoken to him came to visit. "Cooper," he said in his soft voice, "we need to talk." Cooper invited him into his house and they sat down. "What is it, friend?" he asked. The newcomer looked serious. "Our planets are safe now, thanks to you," he began. "But there are other planets out there that need our help." Cooper was surprised. "Other planets? You mean there are more of you out there?" The newcomer nodded. "Yes, and they are in danger. We need to save them." Cooper thought for a moment. "But how can we do that? We can't possibly travel to all those planets." The newcomer smiled. "That's where you're wrong, Cooper. With the machine we can. He explained that the machine could not only protect planets but also create portals to travel to other planets. But like before, they needed Cooper's help to operate it. Cooper was hesitant. It was a huge responsibility. But as he looked at his friend, he knew he couldn't say no. "Okay," he said. "I'll do it. I'll help you save those planets." The newcomer looked relieved. "Thank you, Cooper. We knew we could count on you." And so they started to plan. They gathered information about the other planets and how to reach them. They studied the machine and how to create the portals. It was a lot of work, but Cooper was determined. After days of planning, they were ready. Cooper packed his bag and said goodbye to his children. "I'll be back soon," he promised, "and I'll bring back more friends." With that, he and the newcomer stepped into the machine. As they operated it, the machine hummed to life and a bright light filled the room. When the light faded, they were no longer on Earth. They were on another planet. It was a strange and beautiful place, with bright colors and strange creatures. But it was also in danger. The sky was filled with smoke and the ground was shaking. "We need to hurry," the newcomer said. "The planet is dying." Cooper nodded and they rushed to set up the machine. It was a race against time, but Cooper was not afraid. He had a plan, and he was ready to save another planet. Chapter 4. The Journey Begins. After setting up the machine, Cooper and the newcomer, who he now called Tars, were ready to start their mission to save the planet. They were in a place very different from Earth. The sky was dark with smoke, and the ground shook under their feet. "Are you scared, Cooper?" Tars asked him. Cooper looked at the dying planet around him and said, "I'm worried, Tars, but not scared. We have a job to do." They worked hard to get the machine started. It hummed and buzzed as they adjusted the settings. Finally, it was ready. They activated it, and a bright light filled the sky, creating a shield around the planet. "Now we wait," Tars said. As they waited, Cooper and Tars spent their time learning more about the planet. They met the inhabitants, strange-looking creatures who were grateful for their help. One of them, a small creature with bright eyes, approached Cooper. "You save us," it said in a broken language. "We thank you." Cooper smiled and patted its head. "We're happy to help." Days passed, and the planet started to change. The smoke in the sky cleared and the ground stopped shaking. The shield had worked. The planet was saved. "We did it, Tars," Cooper said, looking at the clear sky. "We saved them." Tars nodded. "Yes, we did. But there are more planets to save." Cooper knew he was right. This was just the start of their journey. They had many more planets to visit, many more lives to save. But he was ready. They said their goodbyes to the grateful creatures and went back to the machine. With a few adjustments, they opened a portal and stepped through, ready for their next adventure. The journey was long and tiring. They visited many planets, each with its own problems. But with every planet they saved, Cooper felt more determined. He saw the difference they were making, and it fueled him to keep going. But it wasn't all easy. There were times when things went wrong, when the machine didn't work, or when they arrived too late. Those times were hard, but Cooper never gave up. He kept going, kept trying, because he knew that every planet saved was a victory. As they traveled from one planet to another, Cooper missed his children. He missed his home, but he knew he was doing something important. He was saving lives, and that made him happy. After many months, Cooper and Tars returned to Earth. They were tired but happy. They had saved many planets and made many new friends. As he looked at the stars, Cooper knew his journey was far from over. There were still many mysteries to unravel, many adventures to embark on, but he was ready for them, ready for whatever came his way. Chapter 5: Miller's Planet. Cooper and Tars arrived at a new planet. It was called Miller's Planet. It was big and blue, covered in water. "Wow," Cooper said, looking at the planet. "It's beautiful." Tars nodded. "Yes, it is, but we have work to do." They landed on the planet and started to explore. The water was deep and cold, but they had to keep going. As they walked, they met a creature. It was tall and thin, with blue skin and big eyes. It looked scared. "Hello," Cooper said. "We're here to help." The creature looked at them and said, "Help? How?" Cooper explained their mission. He told the creature about the machine and how it could save the planet. The creature listened and then said, "Yes, please, we need help." Cooper and Tars worked hard to set up the machine. It was tough work, but they did it. They activated the machine and a shield formed around the planet. "Now we wait," Tars said. They waited and watched as the planet started to change. The water became less cold. The sky cleared. The planet was getting better. "We did it, Tars," Cooper said. "We saved another planet." Tars nodded. "Yes, we did. But there are more to save." Cooper knew he was right. They said goodbye to the creature and went back to the machine. They opened a portal and stepped through, ready for their next mission. As they traveled, Cooper thought about his children. He missed them, but he knew he was doing something important. He was saving lives. Chapter 6: A Tough Decision. Cooper and Tars were on their way to a new planet, but this time it was different. Cooper was thinking a lot. He was thinking about his children. "I miss my kids, Tars," he said. Tars looked at him and said, "I know, Cooper, but we have a job to do." Cooper nodded. He knew he had to keep going, but it was hard. They arrived at the new planet. It was a dry, hot place. It was hard to breathe. "We need to set up the machine," Tars said, "but it's too hot." Cooper thought for a moment, then he made a decision. "I'll do it," he said. "You stay here." "But Cooper," Tars said, "it's too dangerous." Cooper looked at Tars and said, "I know, but we have to save this planet. For my kids, for all kids." Cooper went out into the heat. He worked hard to set up the machine. It was tough, but he did it. He activated the machine and a shield formed around the planet. He went back to Tars. He was tired, but he was happy. "We did it, Tars," he said. "We saved the planet." Tars nodded. "Yes, we did. But it was risky, Cooper. You have to think about your safety, too." Cooper knew Tars was right. He promised to be more careful in the future. As they left the planet, Cooper thought about his decision. It was tough, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing. Chapter 7: Trapped in Time. Cooper and Tars left the hot planet. They were on their way to a new one, but this planet was different. It was not too hot or too cold. It was just right, but there was something strange. Time moved differently on this planet. 1 hour on this planet was 7 years on Earth. "Wow, that's strange," Cooper said. "Yes, it is," Tars replied. "We need to be careful." They landed on the planet. It was quiet and peaceful. They started to set up the machine. But time was moving fast. They had to hurry. As they worked, Cooper thought about his children. Every hour he spent here, 7 years passed on Earth. His children were growing up without him. "I miss them, Tars," he said. "I know, Cooper," Tars replied. "But we have to finish our work here." They worked hard and fast. They set up the machine and activated it. A shield formed around the planet. "We did it, Tars," Cooper said, "but we need to leave. Now." They hurried back to their ship. As they left the planet, Cooper looked back. He knew he had left a part of him behind. Time had trapped him, but he had made a choice. As they traveled to the next planet, Cooper thought about his decision. It was tough, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing. Chapter 8. Betrayal. Cooper and Tars were on their way to the next planet. It was a long and quiet ride. Cooper was still thinking about the time he had lost, but he knew he had to focus on the mission. They arrived at the next planet. It was a cold, icy place. There was another astronaut there. His name was Dr. Mann. "Hello, Cooper." "Hello, Tars," Dr. Mann said. "Welcome to my planet." Cooper and Tars set up the machine. Dr. Mann helped them, but something was not right. One day, Dr. Mann attacked Cooper. He wanted to take the ship and leave the planet. He didn't care about saving other planets. "Stop, Dr. Mann!" Cooper shouted. "We are here to save lives." But Dr. Mann didn't listen. He continued to attack. Cooper fought back. It was a tough fight, but Cooper won. Dr. Mann was defeated. Cooper and Tars left him on the icy planet. They took the ship and left. As they traveled to the next planet, Cooper thought about Dr. Mann. He had trusted him, but he was betrayed. It was hard, but Cooper knew he had to keep going. He thought about his decision. It was tough, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing. Chapter 9. Entering the Black Hole. Cooper and Tars were now heading towards the black hole. It was a scary and unknown journey, but they were determined. They had a mission to complete. As they approached the black hole, they could feel its powerful pull. It was like nothing they had ever experienced, but they were ready. "We have to be careful, Cooper," Tars warned. "We don't know what's inside the black hole." "I know, Tars," Cooper replied. "But we have to do this, for the mission." They entered the black hole. It was dark and mysterious. Time and space seemed to distort around them. It was a strange and terrifying experience. Inside the black hole, they found a tesseract. It was a 3-dimensional representation of time and space. Cooper could see his past, present, and future. He could see his children growing up without him. "It's all connected, Tars," Cooper said. "Time, space, everything." "Yes, Cooper," Tars replied. "But we need to find a way out." They searched for a way out. It was difficult, but they finally found it. They escaped the black hole and continued their journey. As they traveled further, Cooper thought about his decision. It was tough, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing. Chapter 10. Tesseract and Revelation. After escaping the black hole, Cooper and Tars found themselves in a tesseract. It was a 3-dimensional representation of time and space. Here, Cooper could see his past, present, and future. It was a surreal and overwhelming experience. "Where are we, Tars?" Cooper asked, looking around in awe. "We're in a tesseract, Cooper," Tars replied. "It's a representation of the 4th dimension." In the tesseract, Cooper saw his daughter, Murphy. He saw her growing up, becoming a scientist, trying to solve the gravity problem on Earth. He saw her struggles and her triumphs. He also saw himself leaving Earth, leaving his family, and embarking on this journey. He saw his actions and their consequences. It was a revelation. "I see now, Tars," Cooper said. "I see how everything is connected. Time, space, love, it's all connected." "Yes, Cooper," Tars replied. "Now, we need to use this knowledge to help Earth." Cooper and Tars used the tesseract to send a message to Murphy. They gave her the data she needed to solve the gravity problem. They gave her hope. As they left the tesseract, Cooper thought about his decision. It was tough, But he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing. Chapter 11. Return and Reunion. Having left the Tesseract, Cooper and Tars found themselves hurtling back through the black hole. The journey was fraught with danger, but they managed to navigate their way out and emerge back into their own universe. "Cooper, we did it," Tars said. "We got the data to Murphy." "I know, Tars," Cooper replied, "but we need to get back to Earth." With the data sent to Earth, the two of them set a course for home. The journey was long and arduous, but they were determined to return. Meanwhile, on Earth, Murphy had received the data. She worked tirelessly, using the data to solve the gravity problem. She succeeded, and mankind was saved. Time passed, and eventually Cooper and Tars arrived back on Earth. They were hailed as heroes, their efforts saving countless lives. But for Cooper, the most important reunion was with his daughter Murphy. She was now an old woman, but her eyes still held the same spark of intelligence and determination. "Dad, you did it," she said, tears streaming down her face. "You saved us." Cooper hugged her tightly, tears of joy mingling with hers. "No, Murph, we did it, together." As they left the reunion, Cooper thought about his decision. It was tough, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He was saving lives, and that was the most important thing.